If biology is one of the greatest ideas man has ever had in the form of natural and sexual selection in the work of Darwin and Wallace, I would say that the other complex of great ideas, truly top ideas, would be what I would call geometric dynamics. Those are the ideas that take place underneath theoretical physics, whether we're talking about the standard model or general relativity. Now, we now believe that all fundamental physical phenomena can be divided between these two great theories. In one case, that of Einstein's general relativity, it's been known for about 100 years that the substrate of the theory is Riemann's theory of differential geometry, that is Riemannian geometry. What is much more recent, perhaps slightly less than 50 years old, thanks to Jim Simons and C.N. Yang, is the knowledge that the classical theory underneath quantum field theory is in fact a different form of geometry known as Ehresmannian geometry, fiber bundle geometry, gauge theory, or Steenrod geometry, whatever you want to call it. So the idea that geometry is the birthplace of fundamental physics, I think, is now generally understood by all practicing theoretical physicists functioning at the top level. Inside of that complex, we've been stuck for approximately, 47 years, where theory used to lead experiment. And we used to make predictions, and the predictions would usually be confirmed in relatively short order. We have not had a period of stagnation inside of theoretical physics that mirrors this, with the closest comparable period perhaps being the period from the late 1920s with the advent of quantum electrodynamics to the late 1940s with the beginning of renormalization theory being ushered in at the Shelter Island, Pocono, and Old Stone conferences. So that 20-year period is now more than doubled, and we haven't been making progress. And I've been very uncomfortable with the idea of coming forward with ideas. Why? Well, to be honest, it's very rare for anyone outside of theoretical physics to have reasonable ideas in physics. I could explain why, but the physicists are fantastic. They've got all sorts of no-go theorems and all sorts of considerations that have to be kept in mind. And effectively, what they've got is a world that is so tightly constrained when it comes to understanding where we are, that almost every new idea is instantly dead on arrival. Now, this has been incredibly demotivating to people in the field. And it does feel, from many different perspectives, like we're almost at the end, if not of all of physics, at least of this chapter of physics. But what I'm starting to see is that the field has become exhausted. It has been telling the same story since 1984 about how string theory is our leading theory of quantum gravity, that quantum gravity is the replacement for Einstein's search for a unified field. And as the accelerator turns up the Higgs and little else, as effectively no new physical theories arise with confirmations, as the only major updates to our model of the physical world are things like massive neutrinos or the accelerating expansion of the universe coming from experiment. The theoretical physics community has been very slow to own up to just how much trouble it's in. It's an incredibly demanding life. It has incredible standards for rigor and intellectual honesty. And quite honestly, it's been lying for far too long to sustain the kind of integrity that's needed in that community. Now, I don't know whether I'm nuts, but I do know that at previous points I've suggested things into both the mathematical and physics communities that have later been shown by other people to be correct. And while I was waiting for some kind of confirmation, I was being told, Eric, you're completely off base, you're not getting it. One of these situations involves something called the Seiberg-Witten equations, which I put forward in the 1980s, around probably 87. And I was told that these couldn't possibly be right, that they weren't sufficiently nonlinear. I'll tell the whole story about how if spinors were involved, then obviously Nigel Hitchens would have told us so, blah, blah, blah. None of this was true. And in 1994, Natty Seiberg and Edward Witten made a huge splash with these equations. I remember being in the room and seeing the equations written at MIT on the board. And I was thinking, well, wait a minute, those are the equations that I put forward. If those equations are being put forward by Witten, why is it that the community isn't telling him that they're wrong for the same reasons they told me that they were wrong?